המהלוך הגוי לא ישימי כל רע יבורך הסניורים.
We have like this at the end. It was known to Rivka, it was made known to Rivka that Esav is planning, what Esav is planning to do to kill Yaakov. So she told him, Ata b'ni, listen to me, Shma b'koili, v'kum brach lecha el Lavan achicha rana. Go and run away to my brother Lavan in Chola. And you'll be there yomim achodim until his anger subsides. And after his anger subsides, I'll send for you to come back. Then, what is Rivka explain to, how's she going to explain this to Yitzchak? Tell Yitzchak that Esav is planning to kill him. So Yitzchak, she says, it's come the time that Yaakov needs to make a shidduch. And make a shidduch with the daughters of my brother Lavan. So she tells Yitzchak, I don't want Yaakov to take from Anshe Canaan. So Yitzchak calls him and tells him, don't take with him. Kum lech padana aram beisa b'sul avicha. Go to Padana Aram. So there's a question here. Why are you doing this? Beautiful from the Beis Alevi. The pasuk says like this: Vayeitzei Yaakov beBeersheva v'yelech Haran. Yaakov, who left, he went out of Beersheva, he went to Haran. There's an obvious question, and Kedarka Shel Torah, there are many answers, and all the answers are true. The Torah meant many things. But in the Pshuta Shel Mikra here, this is a very strange way of writing things. Rashi already addresses it in his way as well, if I'm not mistaken. If he went, the pasuk should have simply said, "Vayelech Harana." You can't leave wherever you are. You can't go to Haran without leaving. The person can't be in two places at the same time. So if it says he went to Haran, obviously he left Beersheva. He was in Beersheva. So you don't have to divide it up and say, like if I say somebody took a bus, I don't have to say he left his house, went to the bus stop, and took a bus. Obviously, if he took a bus, all these things happen. So why does the pasuk specifically divide it up and say Vayeitzei Yaakov beBeersheva? So coming to my mind is immediately different tiruts. And Rashi says that the Torah wanted to express the concept that the Yitzias Tzadik Min Amokim Oiserosh. That's what Rashi brings. That Vayeitzei, when Yaakov left Beersheva, there was like a halal, there was a vacuum from Yaakov leaving, because the Tzadik doesn't only impress on himself when a person, and this is for what do we have to learn from this, that every person in his place, he gives off, when he strengthens himself in Torah and mitzvahs, he has a schus, because that doesn't only affect himself, not only in the spiritual worlds above, of course it doesn't affect himself, but people are mushpa, people are influenced from the person as a tzaddik, all the people around him get from his light, and when he leaves, is left only the Roshim, but the light itself is missing. That means retroactively they understand how much he influenced. At the time when the tzaddik is there, the person doesn't know, the people don't know. When the tzaddik leaves, suddenly they realize what the influence of the tzaddik was. So that's why Vayeitzei Yaakov beBeersheva, this was an event in itself. The light of the Kedusha of Yaakov left Beersheva. That's Rashi. Chazal tell us another pshat. Again, all the pshatim are emes. Chazal tell us that, I think that Rashi bring it too, maybe he brings it last week's parsha. Yaakov, when he left, when he got the brachas, when he got those bread blessings, how old was he? 63. Because his mother died. His mother died 127. And his mother was 90 when he was born. So when Yitzchak was born, his mother was 90. I'm getting mixed up here. No, I'm getting mixed up. No, 1 second. Yitzchak was 60. One minute.
Yitzchak was 60.
Yitzchak was 60 when Yaakov was born. And when Yaakov, when did he give the brachas? He said, I'm afraid that I'm going to die. So Rashi brings over there that because a person sometimes lives within 5 years of his parents. So Yitzchak was 100, at that time Yitzchak was 122, so he approached the 5 years of his mother, which died at 127, so that's why he wanted to give the brachas. So when Yitzchak finished his 122nd year, when he wanted to give the brachas, how old was Yankiv? Yankiv was entering his 63rd year. That's the cheshbon. Because if Yitzchak is 122 and he gave birth to Yaakov at the age of 60, take out 60 from 122, which means he was completing his 62nd year, beginning his 63rd year. So Yaakov was 63. But Yaakov, when he arrives in there's rayas, because if one makes all the cheshbonis, Yaakov, when he arrives in the house of Laban, he is 77 years old. And till he gives birth to his first child, Rashi brings it down in Vayeitzei, because he had to work 7 years for Rachel. So he had another 7 on 77. You get 84. That is there. Rashi brings it down. Reishis Oini, for 84 years he didn't that Reuben was his tipa rishayna. Kaifim Reishis Oini. 84. Pei Dalet Shonim Rashi brings down. So here's Chazal. The Chazal asked, where did these 14 years go? What happened between 63 and 77? Yeshiva. So he didn't go directly to Charan. Where did he go? He went to Yeshiva. So from where did he leave to Charan? Not from where he was with Yitzchak, but he left from where? From Yeshiva. So Be'er-Sheva, what's the name of that Yeshiva? Shem Be'eva. So one of the Mefarshim says, let's look at the words Vayeitzei Yankiv Be'er-Sheva. That's why he doesn't say the other Charan. He didn't go directly to Charan. He went to Yeshiva. Let's see, what does it say? Mibe'er-Sheva. Take the first letters of Mibe'er-Sheva. The first letter of Mibe'er is which letter? Mem. And the first letter of Sheva is Shin. What word does that make? Shame. And then let's take the last letters. You have here the last letter of Be'er is Reish, and the last 2 letters of Sheva is Beis and Ayin. What does it make? Eva. Shem Be'eva. It's hidden in the pasuk itself. He went to the Beis Medrash of Shem Be'eva. Isn't that nice? Shem Be'eva. But that's why the pasuk divides it up in halves. He left in other words, Be'er-Sheva in this fashion is a kinui, is a nickname for yeshiva. Now let's understand what's the connection. Before that, I want to say over from the Chavetz Chaim. What did he do in these 14 years in yeshiva? What kind of learning? Did he have a part-time job in the yeshiva? He learns his star in 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon. At night it's already too much, you got to take a break. How did it go?
He learned Bussa. He learned how to cook.
He learned Bussa, but how many hours did he learn?
All day.
How did he learn? So it says like this. Vayishka b'mokim ahu. So Rashi brings it down, or doesn't he bring it down? Vayishka b'mokim ahu. Aval yud daled shonim b'mokim ahu is a miyat. Ahu. This place he slept. But where didn't he sleep? What's special about this place? Aval yud daled shonim sheshimesh b'beis eiveh. Lo yishochav b'laylo sheyoisik b'tayr. You can't imagine. He was 63 years old. He wasn't a young man. All right, maybe he was stronger. Between 63 and 77, and he went to yeshiva at the age of 63. Just understand. He left the house of Rambam and went to yeshiva. And in those days in yeshiva, what did he do? He didn't put. It doesn't mean how can it doesn't mean he didn't sleep. One sec. Let's make him a chat. It says in the Gemara and the Darim, there's such a thing called the Shvuat Shav. What's a Shvuat Shav? If you make a Shvua that it's impossible to be, that's called a Shvua in vain. The person makes a Shvua Shalai Ishan Shloisha Yovim. He makes an oath, I won't sleep 3 days. Makinoisai, the Yoshan Miyad. You give him Malchus because he was a Shvua Shav. You can go immediately to sleep. It doesn't take effect. Because a person can't go 3 days without sleep. So what does it mean he didn't sleep for 14 years? What does this mean? Miracles. That's for Shalom. It means he didn't set himself, he didn't have a seder of sleeping, he didn't put himself in a bed. If the sleep gripped him, the sleep gripped him. He, from his point, he said, Ribbani Shalom, I'm learning Torah, I'm not mapsik from the Torah. But if the sleep grabs him, Einus is Einus. So it comes by force, He didn't set himself with a decision, now I'm going to sleep. I don't advise you to do it right now. I had once a friend who was I wanted to learn with him, but he tried it, but I couldn't learn with him because every time he's falling asleep. So it's not so simple. It's not so simple. It's about to stay up, not to put yourself to sleep ever, and to use the time properly. It's not so simple. But this is the way that Yankov did it. Another sim in the Dove. The Chazal use a language, Shoholach v'nitman b'beishem ve'eva. Nitman. We have something on Shabbos called, if maybe you learn Tilcha Shabbos, Hatmona. What is Hatmona? You're not allowed to be matman, it says, to make Hatmona on Shabbos. Toman means to cover up totally. How do you make Hatmona? You take a pot, and it's hot, you take it off the fire, and you want to preserve the heat, it shouldn't escape. So you take the pot, and you wrap it up in blankets, so it stays hot for a long time, it keeps the heat. You're allowed to do this on Erev Shabbos, but you're not allowed to do it on Shabbos. You can't be matman on Shabbos. If you want to, let's say the fire went out, the gas went out, and you want the food not to get cold. So you take the food and you wrap it up very fast in towels and hot blankets. You can't do this on Shabbos. Ein matminin b'Shabbos. You can't make atmana. But if you want it, if you cover the pot up half, that's not called atmana. Atmana is only if you cover the pot entirely.
Oh, completely.
That
So you
completely.
can lay something on top of it?
On top
That's
of,
okay.
That's okay, yes. That's right. That people do. But to put to cover it up totally, this you can't do. So it said on Shabbos. So what does it says? It says that Yankov Avinu, he was halach the nitman b'shem. It was atmana. The Beis Medrash covered him up totally. That means he didn't have any part of him which wasn't absorbed in the yeshiva and learning Torah. That's halach. That's the lashon atmana. Nitman. He was totally absorbed in the Torah, nothing else. That's why he didn't put himself to sleep as well. But what? And this is hinted. Where do you see all this? This is hinted in the words Be'er Sheva. How's it hinted in Be'er Sheva? So let's take these two words. What's the concept of a Be'er, and what's the concept of Sheva? Let's go one step at a time. Be'er. What is a Be'er? A well. Literally speaking, a well.
A cleave which contains water.
Well, Mayim, has the Torah referred to this water? Mayim, Chayim. Live water. It's coming from a source, Mayim Chayim.
Right.
Where's the source of Chayim in this world? From who? Chayim is an expression of the Bari Olam.
Right.
So the Be'er Mayim Chayim, because it has a source in itself, the water never finishes. That's why it's called Chayim. It's from a source, it has its own source. Be'er Mayim Chayim. What's the true Be'er Mayim? Without water you can't live, right? What's the true Be'er Mayim Chayim of this world? What keeps the world going? Limudat Torah, the Ratzon Hashem, the Gilui Ratzon Hashem. Ein Mayim Ela Torah, Mayim Chayim. Be'er Mayim Chayim refers to Torah, because the Torah is the Veikis is an attachment. When you learn Torah, and you put the Torah in your mind, you're attached to the source of the world, the source that gives life. That's spiritual water giving life, giving eternal life. Be'er Mayim Chayim, that's Torah. By the way, how many Be'er Mayim, if you take the Rosh Tevis, the first letters of Be'er Mayim Chayim, we have, the Gemara says, how many gates of understanding? The Torah encompasses in itself how many Shari Bina? You know this? You ever heard it before? Chamishim Sharei Bina Nivru Ba'olam. 50 gates of understanding.
50.
And to achieve the Torah, we don't have the access to the last two. We only have access to 48. You know, he made it famous. Rabbi Weinberg wrote a book, The 48 Ways of Achieving Torah. Right? That's the Mayim Chayim. The 48 ways is corresponding because the 48 gates of understanding. If you look at Be'er Mayim Chayim, you have Beis. That's the two gates which are beyond us. But Mayim Chayim, the first letters of Mayim Chayim. The first letter, Mem, and the second letter, and the second one, Chayim. Chet. Mem Chet is how many?
48.
48. Mem Chet, 48. Mayim Chayim.
No, yeah.
So that's the Be'er Mayim Chayim, that's Torah. All right. Now, how do you draw water from the Be'er Mayim Chayim? Here we come to the next word, Sheva. Sheva has a double meaning. The word Sheva, first of all, is a number. What number is it?
7.
7. What does 7 represent? Let's speak a little bit about the number 7 in the eyes of the Maral. First of all, The word Sheva reminds of another word. What is the word in Hebrew? It says it in the mitzvah of Birchat HaMazon. Saveya. It's the same
Satisfied.
letter. Full. Because satiated. Because the composite world, there is nothing that goes out of the realm. The whole world was created in 7 days. So 7 is all encompassing.
Complete.
Complete. Now we have another, now that we have this concept that Sheva represents completion and entirety, first of all, here we get back again. So Be'er Sheva is to be, what does it mean? If Yaakov was in Be'er Sheva, it means that Yaakov was in a state attached to the Be'er, in the aspect of 7, means he was totally immersed in the Be'er. That's the Sheva. Sheva represents total immersion in the Be'er, that his whole essence was attached to his understanding of the Torah in those years. That's why he didn't put himself to sleep. But here we get to another word, Sheva. Sheva reminds of another word in Hebrew. Which other word? Sheva? It's a poil, verb. Shvuah. What is an oath? An oath is an obligation. That means I put my whole forces and energy on the truth of this word, or that this will be fulfilled. Here we get the connection between Shvuah and Sheva. Sheva means that I'm gathering together all my forces, all my energy, and 7 is all encompassing, meaning all my mitzias, my whole essence, that Sheva represents my whole essence. I'm putting my whole life, I'm putting on this, my whole life force, I'm putting on this statement, on this promise. So Be'er Sheva means that Yaakov Avinu in this state, he was nishba, he was mushba to the Be'er, to the Torah. His whole essence was devoted to the Torah. So the words Be'er Sheva, which represent here yeshiva, teach us the tzura, the form of learning Torah. How does a person, when is the Torah Be'er? In other words, like this, the Torah relates to the person the way the person relates to the Torah. If the person relates to the Torah that it's a Be'er Mayim Chayim, how does he express that the Torah is a Be'er Mayim Chayim? If his relation to the Torah is Sheva, meaning that he's Nishba, he's Mashpia himself to the Torah, then for him the Torah is a Be'er. If it's not a Be'er Sheva, then it's not a Be'er B'chlal. And this nickname of the yeshiva that the pasuk is expressing, Be'er Sheva, is expressing how Yaakov learned Torah. When the pasuk says later, Vayishka b'makam ahu, that's just a physical expression of the hanhoga, the behavior of Yaakov Avinu, which expresses how this behavior. Where did this behavior come from? Because he was in Be'er Sheva. That's why he was. That's what it means. Chazal say he was halach the hitmin be'Be'er Sheva in the yeshiva shoshem day. Now let's go back to the Chafetz Chaim. Why 14 years? Originally, how many years did he plan to be in the house of Lavan? Lavan comes, Yaakov arrives in the house of Lavan, and he wants to get married to the daughter Rachel. He doesn't know that he's going to bluff him and everything else. How many years does he propose to work for? 7. So he proposed it. Yaakov Avinu proposed. So how many years did Yaakov Avinu plan to stay in the house of Lavan? 7 years. Now, to be in the house of Lavan is an extremely dangerous situation. We know later on, he comes and he says, in Lavan Garti, and Chazal say Garti has the same letters as Taryag. Taryag, because even though I lived in the house of Lavan, but Taryag mitzvahs shamarti, v'lo lamadati mimaisa v'roi. But he was putting himself in danger to go to the house of Lavan and keep the mitzvahs. Even Yaakov Avinu was afraid of being in the presence of a Rasha, because a person is influenced by his environment. So what was the preparation for Yaakov Avinu to be in the house of Lavan? He had to immerse himself in Torah double the amount of years. But for the 7 years that he planned to be in the house of Lavan, he went and he learned in Beis Medrash with an unbelievable dveikis, an unbelievable attachment, double the amount, 14 years. This says the Chafetz Chaim. I'm not saying for myself, the Chafetz Chaim says that. This was the preparation for Keneged 7 years in the, let's say, before you go on, if you want to go to 7 years, let's say today, you want to go 7 years in the business world, to go out to work, you need 14 years to Torah before.
Oh.
Not, you need, because the world is, and this is Yaakov Avinu. This is Yaakov Avinu and the world which he was going in there. That's where the pasuk is meramis. Now, so we've touched up Vayeitzei Yanki b'Beersheba. Now let's take it one step further. Vayelech Charana. The pasuk says everything here. Charana, simple pshat of Charana is the name of the place where he went, Haran. But Charana reminds us of another. If Beersheba is the concept of the flow of life from Hashem, what is the opposite of the flow of life from Hashem? Hashem runs the world with Midas HaChesed, but sometimes there's a Midas HaDin from Aveiris. How's it called, the Midas HaDin? Sometimes it says, it's a Kankam Chas V'Shalom, Charoin Af. Charana represents Charoin Af, the Kas of Hashem from Aveiris. Midas Hadin. So Yankov Avinu, he left the yeshiva, where the yeshiva is the Mekor HaToiv. Vayelech Charana. He went to Charan. He left the Oyer and he went to Charan. The Medrash says like this: if a person is going down to a very deep pit, and he wants to be sure that he's not going to die there and remain there, what does he do before he goes down to a pit? He ties himself up very strongly to a strong string, and the string is connected above, and so he can have somebody pull him. So if he's still connected above with a strong string, then he can be pulled out. But if he didn't tie himself up with a strong string, then he's stuck down there. There's no way to get to him. Vayeitzei Yanki b'Beersheba. That was the strong string, the Beersheba, that he was nishpat to the Torah, that he swore himself to the Torah, so he was tied up to a strong string. Yaakov was tied with a strong chevel, that his neshama was tied to the Torah. And then he could allow himself to go into the deep pit of the, and that's Vayelech Charana, the deep pit of the house of Lavan. This is what the Torah, this pasuk is really, it's the introduction of the Torah to the whole situation of Yaakov in the house of Lavan. And this is the limud to us as well in life, that sometimes when you leave the yeshiva, you're always in danger. Ashrei yoshvei beisecha. Oy galu gosel. Yoshvei beisecha, that's Beersheba. When you step out of yeshiva, that's Vayelech Charana. Then you're going into Charan. To the amount that you tied yourself up to the Or HaTorah, you can have survival in the state of Charan. That's Vayeitzei Yanki b'Shvei Charan. So that's the second pshat in pasuk. But in Poshet the pshat, here I go back again. Now let's go back again in Poshet pshat of the pasuk. The Beis Halevi says something very nice. Poshet the pshat. Yaakov Avinu had two tzivuyim. Well, maybe we'll say it in a different way. What does the schus? They would say it in a also in a school of way. In other words, like this: the schus of Esav to kill Yaakov. Esav had one big schus. The schus of Esav was the mitzvah, which mitzvah respecting his father and mother. Keep it out there. So it wasn't only an eitzah of Rivka that he should run away, but she gave him two mitzvahs to protect him from Esav, that he should also have mitzvahs kibbut avayim. What was his mitzvah? Yaakov had here a mitzvah from his mother, and he had a mitzvah from his father. His mother told him, "Kum brach lecha elachichi elachilacha." Go and run away to the house of Lavan because Esav wants to kill you. Brach lecha, go run away. But Yitzchak, she couldn't tell him that Esav wants to kill him, so she said he needs a shidduch. So what is, in the language of the pasuk last week, what does Yitzchak say to Yaakov? Lech el, go. So one tzivui was brach, and one tzivui was lech. When you run away, are you going any place specifically? When you're running away from something, the main thing is not to be in the place that you're running away from. Running away is basically a yitzia. You're leaving the place where you are. When you go to a certain place, then it's the opposite. The main thing is you're not leaving where you are. The main thing is to get where you want to go. You have a purpose in mind. Lech. Yaakov Avinu had here two tzivuyim. He had two commands. One command from his mother, which was brach lecha, run away. And one command from his father, which is go specifically to Ram Merayim to find a wife. So the pasuk says, Vayeitzei Yanki b'Beersheba. That's it, divides up into two parts. Vayeitzei, he was Mekayim, the mitzvah of Rivka to run away. That's Vayeitzei Yankiv Beersheva. That was already a full thing in itself. Leave Beersheva, run away from Esav. Vayelech Harana, that was with the intention to be Mekayim, the mitzvah of Yitzchak. So this was two fulfillments of two commands. He was fulfilling the kibbut aim in Vayeitzei Yankiv Beersheva, and he was fulfilling the kibbut av in Vayelech Harana. He had two mitzvahs. The Maaseh, so let's go further. Vayivka ba'mokan. Now he goes into Golis, he goes into the Chayshach, and he goes into the Chayshach. What is the Eitzah of survival in the Chayshach? He goes into the darkness of Golis. Vayivka, so the very next word of the Torah is Vayivka ba'mokan. Rashi brings down Vayivka as a Lashon Tefillah. Mokan here doesn't just mean he met the place. It means one of the nicknames for HaKadosh Baruch Hu is HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mekoymai Shel Olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, meaning, what does it mean? Why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu called the Mokum of the world? It's a mashal. It means that nothing could exist outside, just like the place. If you take away the place of something, it breaks. The place supports the object. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the place of the world. The whole world is supported by him. The rayon, the amkis, that the world is basically doesn't exist. Without HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's no existence. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in every place. So there's no golus. When a person lives the concept of Mokaim, then wherever he goes, he's in the yeshiva. Yaakov took the yeshiva with him, with the hashkafa of Vayivka ba'mokaim, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekoyim Shel Olam, that everything depends on the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. So he's B'nei Hashem. That's Be'etzem the Shivisi Hashem L'Negdi Summit. That's this Yaakov Avinu took with him that Hashem is everywhere, like they say, but not just like a child sings the song, Hashem is everywhere. He lived that everything is Hashem. This was clear to him that everything is Hashem. So he's constantly B'nei Hashem. This was his protection. That's why it's expressed in Ba'mokum. And Chazal say that he was metaken Tfilas Arabis. He's metaken the Tfilah of Ma'ariv. Because what is represented by what is Tfilah of Ma'ariv? What is Ma'ariv? Ma'ariv means to meet Hashem in the Hestapon. To meet Hashem when he's concealed. To uncover the concealment of Hashem and find him. If you want to say, like they say a marshal, they say, the children have a game. What's the name of there's a game. Hide and seek. The children hide, and you have to find them. Hashem is playing with us in a certain sense, hide and seek. Our job, he's hidden, and that's Golus. And our job is to uncover him and find him. And that's Vayivka, that's Tfilas Arabis. Tfilas Arabis is hide and seek. It's this to uncover Hashem when he's hidden. That's Tfilas Arabis. And that's Vayivka b'mokum. To see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to live that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekoyim Shel Olam. That's the kiyum. That's the kiyum in Golus. That's the existence. That's the way a person exists in Golus. And so Yaakov Avinu took the Beersheva into Choron. If you take the Beersheva into Choron, then you have the power to be misalek, to remove the Charoinaf. Then you turn the Charoinaf into Rachamim. And then Yaakov Avinu goes to sleep in that place. And after 40 years that he takes Hashem with him. So how does the Torah express his dream? Here the Torah is expressing the Madrega of Yaakov Avinu and why Yaakov Avinu could go to Golus. Golus is like Liba. What does a person dream? He only dreams of what he thinks the whole day. I want to tell you a joke. So a guy said, two boys are talking in yeshiva, and one said to the other, "Last night I dreamt I saw Hashem." So the other one tells him, "Impossible." I thought it's impossible because you can't see Hashem. No, impossible for another reason. Since it says that the only thing you dream at night is what you thought about the day, I know you. You're so busy during the day. You have a Seder in the morning and a Seder in the afternoon, a Tefillah, a Mechaber, and you don't have time to think about Hashem. It can't be you saw Hashem. You're too busy to think about Hashem. You could have dreamt about Hashem at night. You're too busy learning. You're a masmid. That's a good marshal on this connection. Anyway, by Yankov Avinu, it wasn't like that. Because when Yankov Avinu falls asleep, by Yishkav Amalkam Ahu, and what does he dream? V'hinei Hashem Yitzad Olam. We're saying Yaakov Avinu because his whole day he has Hashem in front of him. Everything he's doing is in front of Hashem. He falls asleep at night, and that same Hashem is Nitzav Alav. That's what he sees in his dream. Hashem is on him. That means that Yaakov Avinu, Hashem became so part of his bones and flesh that he can't depart from Hashem. So what are the dreams? They say if you go to sleep dreaming about your learning, then you wake up about your learning. But if you go to sleep dreaming about something else before, then you wake up thinking about something else. Yaakov Avinu, the Shena, because his sleep is Hashem Nitzav Alav, that's why he had the koyach. He's the Maisa Ovasim Labanan. He represents the survival of Am Yisrael and Golus, and then Am Yisrael will return the tshuva from the Golus, and Sof to be Nigah. Because Yaakov, with this, the Torah is expressing here the power of survival in Golus. That if the Ruchnius is so involved, so engraved in one's bones, then even in the Shena, one remains part of Hashem. And that's after 14 years that he didn't sleep, with such a desire to be part of Hashem, so when he goes to sleep, it's already not parting from Hashem, the opposite, it's Hashem Nitzav Alav. And that's the Koyach HaGula, that's why Yaakov could go into Golus and be taken the Golus, and he's the Makor of the Gula. And so, I will end with this. We have 3 tefillas on Shabbos, Shachris, Mincha, Ma'ariv, each one has a different nusach. And these 3 tefillas are really connected, corresponding to the 3 others. The tefillah of Mincha, which corresponds to Yaakov Avinu, how does it begin? Ata echod, Shimcha echod, Ubi kamcha Yisrael goyechad bo. It's at the end of time that the unity of Hashem will be revealed to everybody and everything. That's that Madregas Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu is that there's nothing else existing outside of Hashem.
Vikorei bohem shemi, vikorei bohem shemi, v'shem avo Yisai Avraham.